Hey guys, hope you're enjoying National Woodlands Day. My name's Adam Hogshead, and I'm the Leadership Development Program Director at Woodlands Camp. And I'm joined here with Big Jon. Big Jon, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Big Jon, I hear there's a big announcement that we have to make today.
We do. So, given a little bit of context, about 20 years ago, it was just like sweet little baby Woodlands, and we started and had mostly junior and day camps, but then those junior day campers were getting up to be teenagers, and so we started having middle school and high school camps, and some of those high school campers started coming to us going, hey, we love Woodlands, could we come and volunteer? Well, again, we were sweet little baby Woodlands and our staff was teeny tiny. I mean, we had like 20 something on staff. And so we said, absolutely come during the summer for a week and volunteer. But what we found was that there was no structure around it. So, they weren't really campers. They weren't really staff. There was nobody really in charge of them. And so we said, we have this opportunity. We have these kids that want to come invest here. Let's build a program around it. And that's when we built SALT. I believe summer 2007 was the first summer that we had SALT. It has obviously grown since then. And so as we have grown to the point where we are now, last year opening Woodlands West, this next year getting Woodlands West up to maximum capacity, the question arose, like, what are we going to do with SALT? Because SALT, if you're not familiar with it, it's a leadership development program for 16 to 18-year-old young people where they come to Woodlands for 3 weeks. We invest in them, they invest in Woodlands, and they walk away a way better version of themselves than when they arrived. And so the question was like, what do we do with SALT? Do we make SALT bigger? And, we did not feel that bigger was necessarily better. At some point you lose something in bigger. Was it, do we make two SALTs, one for East, one for West? No, I don't really like that idea. And so as we started kicking this around, thinking about it, talking about it, praying about it, it's like, what if instead of creating two, what if we created another layer? So rolling out in summer 2026 is going to be a brand new program within our leadership development pipeline called LiTE. And the idea of LiTE is it's another layer for another age group with the same heart of developing young people that have leadership capacity, developing young people that take their faith seriously, developing them into hopefully difference makers for Jesus down the road.
That is really awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to hear that. So obviously we talked about SALT a lot and how that kind of came about. When it comes to LiTE, what exactly changes? What looks different when it comes to the LiTE program?
So again, it is going to be a different age group. So SALT is for 16 to 18-year-olds. LiTE is going to be for 14 to 16-year-olds. And the thing is, you can't do SALT more than once and you can't do LiTE more than once, but you can do both. So a camper, when they're in that 14 to 16-year-old window, they can apply for and do LiTE. They get to 16 to 18, they can apply for and do SALT. And hopefully they continue to grow and they come back when they're in college and they serve on summer staff. That we really look at this as a pipeline where we are identifying those young people that have leadership capacity and take their faith seriously, invite them to apply, get them into LiTE, get them into SALT, get them into staff. And many of those are kids who grew up coming here to camp and they can come back as staffers someday and reciprocate into the next generation what was done for them when they were campers here. So that really excites me. So it is going to be in that same leadership development pipeline, but it's also going to be a unique experience from SALT. So like campers, it's a 2-week experience where SALT is a 3-week experience. Light campers are going to be serving over on Woodlands West, whereas SALT campers will be serving here on East. There's going to be content designed for each program that is specific to that program. We're thinking through what is it that we want to invest in 14 to 16-year-olds to propel them to that next level. What is it that we want to invest in 16 to 18-year-olds to propel them to that next level, to set them up again to come back and hopefully be difference makers and share their faith, share their story with the next generation someday when they get to college on summer staff. So again, LiTE is going to be for 14 to 16. SALT is going to be for 16 to 18. LiTE is a 2-week experience. SALT is a 3-week experience. LiTE's going to serve on West. SALT's going to serve on East. Both in the same program, within leadership development program, but it's going to be very unique experiences.
Yes, we definitely have some differences.
Absolutely.
Between the two. And I heard you use the word a few times, apply.
Yeah.
So this is not a program that I can just register
That's
for.
right. That's right. So any of our traditional programming, meaning traditional camp, extreme camp, freestyle, when registrations open, you go online and you register to come to camp, and as long as there's a spot, you're in. LiTE and SALT are going to be a little more exclusive. So these are programs that you don't apply, or you don't register for these programs, you apply for these programs, and you have to be selected. And frankly, the application process is almost as rigorous as our summer staff process. Like, we really want to find kids who have that, the capacity, that appetite to learn and to grow. And so the application process for both LiTE and SALT is going to sync up. So January 1, if you've got 14 to 16-year-old or 16 to 18-year-old campers who are interested in SALT or LiTE, January 1, those applications open online. They're open through the entire month of January. They close on the 31st. And then we will take all of those applications, all of those interviews, all of those references, which even that, man, as a parent, for your child to go through that process, even the process is so valuable, because what we know, someday they're going to have to do that as grown-ups when they go get a full-time job. That process is so valuable. But that process will happen January 1 through 31. Then we'll take all of that information, pray over it just like we do our summer staff, make our selections, extend offers. Campers have the opportunity then to accept that offer, and they'll have their spot in SALT or LiTE.
Wow, that sounds so great. And I love the fact that we're growing that leadership development pipeline to where some of those campers who have been looking forward to SALT, it's like, hey, well, let's get a little taste of some of those things, but also try some new things and build some new rhythms.
Absolutely. And you know, having been here for every single SALT camper that's ever come through this place, it's a life-changing opportunity. It really is. My kids did SALT. So many of my friends' kids have done SALT. It really is life-changing. And the reason why we have these programs, moms and dads, the reason why we have these leadership development programs, it's not because we need more campers. It's not because we want more campers. It's not because we want something from you. Yes, there's a cost attached. The value is out of this world. But it's not because we're looking for something from you. The reason why we have these programs is because we want this experience for your child. If your child has leadership capacity and your child takes their faith seriously, like, we want this experience for them. We want them to be LiTE campers. We want them to be SALT campers. Someday we want them to serve on summer staff, because I have seen, again, in my own kids' lives, the lives of so many young people over the years, how their lives have been fundamentally changed by those different layers, those different experiences. And we want that for as many young people as we can.
That's so awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to see how this program comes about and what's going to happen in summer 2026. In the meantime, how can we stay updated on some announcements and things like that with LiTE?
Yeah, just stay tuned to our social media channels. Keep an eye on our website. We'll be populating all of that in the coming weeks leading up to when SALT and LiTE applications go live on January 1.
Awesome. Well, happy National Woodlands Day to everybody. Thanks for tuning in to this huge announcement. We're getting really close to our goal, so thank you so much for your generosity.